when we took over the Dove radio in 1983, we couldn't afford a morning man. So I just got up and did it. And that's what we did. Here we are close to 29 years later, and I've still been doing the morning show. It began to grow. In fact, it grew fast, and to the point where once we started it, I knew we couldn't end it, and it went from being an hour to 2 hours, and today it's 3 hours. About 1989, 1990, back in there, where we had looked into the idea of possibly getting a television license then, and that didn't work out. And then I realized the uniqueness of the morning show provided an opportunity to create a new format for television. And then television news in itself began to do morning news, which began to grow. And I thought, could we combine the two together? Could it work? And so I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s when that vision become focused in my mind that perhaps we could do this. We had an opportunity to get one, and all of a sudden at the last minute, the seller decided to sell it to somebody else. All the doors closed, so we just kind of stopped pursuing that. I thought, well, the Lord did not want us in television, and in those days, it was all analog. It was very expensive to do, and I thought, well, the Christian television model in America was really big then, and I thought we could never compete at that level, and the opportunity to literally get a channel just wasn't coming about, so we kind of abandoned the whole idea. 2007, a gentleman called me and from Klamath Falls. He really felt like the Lord spoke to him that you're to give this television license to Perry. Well, I struggled with it because I thought, did God close the door permanently or temporarily? Because all of a sudden, here was part of our vision back on the table again, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, are we supposed to do this, or did God not want us to do that? So that was kind of going through my mind.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Terry Atkinson. Welcome to the Dove TV. Well, this is it. Today, the Dove TV launches right here on Charter TV, Channel 18. We signed on March 4th, 2010. And it was very exciting because not only did we come on UHF, we came on two charter channels, one charter channel in 2 counties, excuse me. And that was significant for an LP television station to literally sign on initially with a cable channel below the top 20, we're Channel 18. I mean, the whole thing just kind of came together. It was a miracle. When we went into the news format on radio, I did it because I realized that Christians are people too. They have everyday jobs, they have everyday schedules, and could we create a program that not only met their need as they were going to work, but would be attractive to non-believers and a reliable product that they could listen in and get informed. And then the television thing, I thought, we know that television cameras have been in radio studios before. That wasn't unique, but could you take a morning drive show that was very successful on radio and make it equally successful on television and not have 2 departments doing 2 different things, literally meld all this together and make it one and come up with a new model that could be successful both on radio and television. When the television station signed on air, then the whole idea of the morning show going on air came back into focus again, and then it became a matter, could it be done? Did we have the equipment, the facility to do it? Did we have the budget to do it? Could it be done? Did we have the personnel to do it? All of those issues came back into focus. But in the back of my mind was this feeling, this is the thing to do. This is something that we should do. I went to a board meeting one day. It was like, it was a couple of months after we had the television station on the air. And I'm sitting with our board members, and we're in this board meeting. We're going through all the business of the Dove ministry. And one of our board members raised his hand. He said, Perry, I really think you ought to concentrate on putting the morning show on television. Well, we never discussed it at a board level. It was just kind of me. I had it inside of me. I never really took it to the board. And so I'm going, well, there's another confirmation. And then they started leaning on me. The whole board kind of leaned forward. Well, why aren't you taking your most valuable product and putting it on television? And in fact, they kind of made a little bit of an edict. They wanted it done right away. Well, we didn't have the funds or the means to do it right away. So it's taken us about 2 years to get to that point. When we got the award from the National Religious Broadcasters of being Television as a Station of the Year, and one of the reasons that award was given was the uniqueness of our programming lineup. And then to add to that uniqueness, what I would consider the main ingredient, and that is to have a very interactive live morning television program. To me, it is one of the crowning moments in the history of this ministry to see it go on the air. I was taught in Bible college, somewhere between the prayer and the answer, God makes the saint, and I think what's happened is from the time we first had the vision to the fulfillment of the vision, if we stayed faithful, and God stayed faithful, and we stayed faithful, it came together, and in that He made us. He made us who we are. We're ready for this. And so I think it's something that once it's up and running, I think it's going to be an industry pace setter. I just feel that in my heart, that God will use this not only for our sake in reaching people, but God will use this as a ways to reach a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't tune into a radio station or a television station. If we do this with a standard of excellence in the broadcasting industry and with the Christian input that really encourages people, I'm hoping that they'll feel safe to share that with other people in their lives, that they could tune in and listen. The scripture that makes all this happen for me is Romans 10:20. I was found by those who were seeking me, and I manifested myself those who didn't ask. That's what we do. We'll put it out there and then trust God to match the content of what we are doing with the person's need, and then let it go viral to reach as many people as we can.